Hello and welcome to Conquest Creations. In this video, we're doing a little bit of a behind the scenes chat to let you guys know about what's going on here in the Conquest Studio. We have a big problem coming up that is going to jeopardize the future of the channel. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about the 3 things that we are currently planning on doing here in the studio. The first one is I've got a survey out. Conquest Creations is a business, and as a part of that, we want to be able to understand what our audience and our customers want. That's where you guys come in. So far, we've created a lot of Kickstarters of STL files for miniature wargaming terrain, which I absolutely love doing, but it's pretty obvious that that only reaches a very, very small portion of our audience. So I want to understand what you guys are interested in. What products in the wargaming space do you think need to be created or expanded upon? Would you guys be interested in Conquest Creations, dice, measuring widgets, dice trays, things like that? Or are there other products in the wargaming space that you would want us to build? We want to get your thoughts on it, and that's why this survey comes in. Now, that survey also has questions about how we can improve our videos. I think it's about 6 or 7 questions long. So if you guys could take the time to fill it out, should only be a couple minutes, that would be greatly appreciated, and it will help shape the future of this channel. We're going to use the results from that survey to decide what we can do with the next phase of the business. All right, now the next thing I want to talk about is Conquest Champions Season 4. Conquest Champions Season 3 has just wrapped up and it was a great success. You guys really got around it, you left so many comments, there's been a ton of views, and it was a lot of fun for me to make, so I want to make Season 4. Now there is going to be a little bit of a break just so that we don't get exhausted of Conquest Champions. I want it still to be special and the premiere Battle Report series, so it'll be probably a couple months until Season 4 comes out, and that's going to give us time to hopefully have the whole entire thing filmed before we release the first video. This is going to give me a lot more control. The end of Season 3 got a little bit delayed in there just because scheduling conflicts were massive as everyone has very busy lives. So the goal for Season 4 is 100% filmed before the first video is released. Now with Season 4, I also want to format it slightly different. So far, the first 3 seasons have been an 8-player elimination tournament, which is 7 games long. I feel like for some of the players who lose in round 1, they don't really get the opportunity to show off their army or get to be known by the community. So for that reason, I want to introduce a group stage. For Conquest Champions Season 4, there's still going to be 8 players in 2 groups of 4. In each group of 4, there's going to be 2 good and 2 evil players. And it's going to be good versus evil for the group stage. So in the group stage, each player will play 2 games. After that, the top 2 players from each group will proceed into a 4-person elimination tournament. This means that the series is going to be 11 videos long. Now we could do a full group stage where each player plays all 3 games, but that starts to be really, really long. It's 15 games in the whole series, and I think that it's going to get boring seeing the same armies. With this one at 11 games, I think that it's a lot of repetition of the same armies. So after the group stage, I'm going to be letting each player add an extra 200 points or 250 points. Haven't fully decided on the points limits yet to their army. I'm thinking of doing 500 points in the group stage and then 750 points or 800 points for the elimination stage. And this is where your thoughts are great. It's not a survey question, so just let me know in the comments, do you like that format? Should it be the same points all the way throughout? Or if it should be different points, well, all the same points, what points should we do? What do you want to see? I know a lot of people are calling for bigger points, and I'm a little bit scared of filming 11 750 point games. I just don't think it's feasible. They take so long. But I know a lot of people want to see that. So if those are the points that you guys want to see, then yeah, let me know in the comments. We can make it happen regardless, because we want to make the best quality videos that people want to watch. Now with the armies for this season, expect to see every army directly out of the films. Really, really want to focus on theme with Conquest Creations. I think that competitive play is a fantastic part of the game. I love going to tournaments, I love trying to win, I love competitive play, but we really want to encourage people to win in the right way, and that's winning with a thematic army. I'm not interested in showing off yellow alliances or, just generic Witch King Suladan stuff. We want to show, exactly what we saw in the movies, because ultimately that's why a ton of people, myself included, play this game. I love the theme, I love the lore, and we want to show that thematic armies are absolutely not any less competitive than filthy soup armies. They're just a lot more fun to play with. So that's going to be Conquest Champions Season 4. If there's any other features that you guys want to see included in that, let me know in the comments. I read all of your comments and they 100% impact what we do. All right, now the last thing that I want to talk about before we get into talking about the big problem that we have coming up is the next series that we have coming out, which is the Quest of the Ring Bearer. Now in the Quest of the Ring Bearer book, I think there's something like 29 scenarios in the full series. That's way too many. I've chosen my favorite 10 that are going to go out here on the channel. We're going to start in Farmer Maggot's farm, which is going to be a ton of fun. Go to Weathertop, go to, ooh, what's after that? Fight the Watcher on the Water, go to Balin's Tomb, fight the Balrog, fight an Amon Hen, and then I get kidnapped by Faramir, go to Osgiliath, fight Shelob. There's at least a couple more in there. Kirathungul's in there. Anyway, the best 10 are what we've chosen to go out on the main channel. But Conquest Creations is a business, and ultimately we probably need to be more of a business than we currently are. So if we can make, if we can turn this into a bit more of a profitable venture, then we'll be able to improve the quality of our videos and ultimately keep going with Conquest Creations as a full-time venture. So because of that, we're going to be expanding on our Patreon. Now it's existed for a little while, but I haven't really done a heap with it. So with Quest of the Ring Bearer, all of the scenery for the whole campaign is going to be made from Conquest Creations STL files. So I am madly sculpting away, creating scenery at the moment. Now on that Patreon, you'll not only get access to exclusive battle reports, so some of the other missions that I don't think work on the main channel because they're a little bit more niche, like Fog on the Barrow Downs or The Hobbit's Journey Through Old Forest, they're going to go up as exclusives on the Patreon, and they're going to be filmed in a much more casual style. They won't have these super high production values, so it's a lot more friendly. You can get to know us a bit better instead of hiding behind, you know, a fancy camera and lots of editing tricks. So, you know, a different style of battle report going out there on the exclusives. And all of the STL files of all of the scenery for it, as they release, is going to go up on that Patreon. So if you want to 3D print the terrain and play along in the campaign, then feel free to join in there. Along with that, I know a lot of people don't have 3D printers, and a lot of people want our scenery, and I want to be able to get it to them. So with each video that drops, now I'm not committing to this yet, but if there's interest, and let me know in the comments, let me know in the survey, with each video that drops, I'm going to do a very limited release of the scenery for that scenario. So for example, we have a Hillside Ruin set that I think makes a perfect use of Amon Hen, could be a good stand-in for that. And when that battle report drops, I'm thinking of having, you know, maybe 3 to 6 sets available to buy physically from the Conquest Creations web store. If that is interesting to you, let me know, because I don't want to spend a heap of time developing something that people don't actually want. So fill in that survey, but I want to make the physical products a bit more accessible to the audience so that we can turn this Quest of the Ring Bearer campaign into, hopefully, a really, really good move for Conquest Creations as a business. Okay. I've talked about those 3 plans, but unfortunately there is a big problem facing Conquest Creations that, yeah, it kind of puts the future of the channel in jeopardy a little bit. Basically, the studio space that I'm sitting in right now is a rented space, and it's the perfect size. It's small, and in fact, it's basically the smallest space that I could find to rent in all of Melbourne, which means it's cheap, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, the building that it's in has been bought by a new landlord, and I've been informed that at the end of my lease, it will not be renewed, so I will be kicked out of this studio space. And before the end of the lease, they want to start doing renovations. That shouldn't impact my business operations, but shouldn't, and what will happen, unfortunately, sometimes going to be different. So we're going to be losing the studio, and I've looked around at studios at similar commercial spaces all around Melbourne, and ultimately I haven't found anything else of this size yet. Now there's a lot of options for spaces that are 2 or 3 times bigger than this, but I don't really need more space for the channel itself, and because they're 2 or 3 times bigger, they're also 2 or 3 times, generally even a little bit more, times more expensive. Which means ultimately with the amount of money that we're currently making, we can't afford a studio space. Moving back home is kind of an option, but it means that the quality of the videos will drop, and I don't think that it works. So the plan is, while I'm here in the studio before we get evicted from it, film as many battle reports as possible. I want to have all of Quest of the Ringbearer, which is 10 in the main series, and then all of the extra ones as well. So that should be about 15, 16 videos. And all of Conquest Champions Season 4, which is another 11 videos. We're going to start releasing videos a little bit less frequently, so they'll generally be fortnightly with some weekly releases, just so that we don't burn through all of our backlog too quickly. And with those videos and the product development that we're doing, I'm hoping that we can make enough money to be able to afford a bigger studio space and keep going with Conquest Creations in the way that it is. No matter what happens, I'll always be doing Conquest Creations because it's a ton of fun and I absolutely love it. But for it to work as a business, it needs to work as a business. So if you like our channel and you like what we do and you want to support us, then fill in that survey. If you want to go beyond that and start supporting the channel now, we do have a Patreon that's live that's going to have a heap more content coming soon. Or feel free to go over to the website and pick up any of our STL files. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. You are my community. I listen to you guys. I care about what you think, and I want to service the community. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know, if you have any ideas on what direction to take Conquest Creations and how to deal with this situation. This has been Conquest Creations. Thanks for listening to me. I've been Jacob Lucas, and I'll see you next time.